Hi, this is Tom Soane and welcome to the Anonymous Landlord podcast. But before we get into it, before I unleash a whole world of property investment advice and stories and interviews and content and rants and opinions and updates and feedback and all of those things, before I unleash that on you, I just wanted to give you a quick idea of what this is all about. What is an anonymous landlord? Who the hell am I? What's going to be in all of these episodes and all of this podcast? What's the end objective for it? And what are you going to get out of it? Because I want to share everything. You could go and pay loads of money for training and experts and mentors and guides to help you through your property investment journey, but I want to do it all for free. Because property investment is working well for me right now, and I've been doing it quite successfully now for a few years. I want to share everything with you. I want you to learn what I've learned. I want you to avoid the mistakes that I've made. And I want to give you the advice straight from some of the most successful property investors and property experts and agents and lawyers and accountants and tax advisors and mortgage lenders that are in the industry right now doing this every single day. So if you are a property investor now, or you're a landlord now, or you want to be a landlord, or you want to be a property investor, or maybe you're a seasoned veteran property investor, maybe you've got a portfolio right now, maybe you haven't. Maybe you've got a small portfolio, maybe you've got a big portfolio that you want to grow and make more and more profit from and more money from. Or you want to improve your quality of life as a landlord. You want to improve your quality of life as a property investor. Or maybe you want financial freedom. Maybe you want complete autonomy. You don't want to be involved in your properties, but you want them to carry on growing. That's what an anonymous landlord is. It's the ultimate dream. It's the ultimate property investor, the perfect landlord, where you make profit from property without doing anything. And that's the dream, right? You want to just be sat on a beach, drinking a cocktail and enjoying the money rolling in without lifting a finger. Well, that's what the anonymous landlord is. Somebody who's totally anonymous to the tenant, to the agent, to the contractors, to the property, to the process, to the growth, to the whole system of property investing. An anonymous landlord is exactly that. You are out of it whilst everything is done for you automatically, efficiently, effectively, and it continues growing and compounding and growing again and compounding, just like a massive snowball. You start off small, you roll that snowball down the hill, and then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, but you don't have to do anything. You don't have to keep pushing that snowball. You don't have to keep stacking more and more snow onto it. You just let it roll and let it grow. And that's what the anonymous landlord is. So what is this podcast going to be all about? Well, I'm going to interview the top property investors in the country. The ones that have done it all before, seen it all before. They've bought property, invested in property, they've made mistakes, they've succeeded, they've failed, they've done all of those things that I want to bring, I want to share. I want everybody to avoid those mistakes. And I want you to benefit from their teachings and from their advice and opinions. Because they've done it. And so have I. And I'm still learning. I'm still learning every day. And I want to share that with you. When I learn something, you'll learn something. I promise. And I'm going to do it all for free. You don't need to pay for expensive training courses. You don't need to pay for property mentors. You just need to follow this, because I'm just going to give it to you all for free. I'm already spending a lot of money on those training courses, on those guides, on those mentors. So you can just learn it all from me. But in that podcast, we're going to interview lawyers and tax advisors and accountants so that you make sure that your property investment journey and your landlord journey all the way through to becoming the anonymous landlord is legal, is compliant, all that boring stuff, but you have to do. We're going to make sure that it's all correct and you're not making any mistakes, you're not taking any needless risks, and you're not losing money where you don't need to lose money. Actually, this is all about making money. You can't make money if you're losing money. So we're going to concentrate on keeping everything right, keeping it all accurate and compliant with the experts that know what they're doing. And that is also part of being an anonymous landlord. What's the point in you doing all of your accounts and tax and all of your things that someone else can do better than you, and things that someone else can do to give you a better quality of life? We'll talk to those people and we'll show you their advice. We'll show you what they suggest that you can do, and also we'll show you what they suggest you can outsource. We'll also talk to mortgage advisors, so we can talk about specialist buy-to-let mortgage products and financing methods, and how you can fund property investment deals with either no money, with a little bit of money, with a lot of money. Either way, we'll show you how you can get into property with not a lot of money at all. I'm going to show you different strategies that will enable you to get into property yourself without worrying about where am I going to get all this money from. I need so much money to get into property. I was the same. I didn't have much money and I got into property, and then I used that first property to grow to the next property, to the next property, to the next property. And I'm still going and still growing. Remember that snowball effect? Well, that's me. I've rolled that snowball at the beginning and I'm still rolling. It's still rolling now. Well, I'm not rolling, but it's still rolling and rolling and rolling now. And growing and growing and growing and growing under its own momentum. Because I am the anonymous landlord. And I'm getting more and more and more anonymous as I go through my property investment journey. So we're going to interview all of those experts. We're going to interview estate agents. We're going to interview property sources. We're going to interview letting agents, so that we can find and share how to go and find these property deals, where you can get the best property investment deals from. Because that is an art in itself. It's a science as well. So I want you to learn that. I want you to know where you can get the best property deals from. And I'm going to interview these people and I'm going to get right into their knowledge. And I'm going to drag it out of them and I'm going to share it with you, because I want you to know. I want you to learn. There are so many people that will give you a load of advice and a lot of training on this side of things, but you'd have to pay for it. I promise you, my training will be free. My podcast will be free. My advice will be free. Everything I give out, everything here is all free. I promise. So who am I? Well, if you don't know me by now, then my name's Tom Soane. I am a property investor now. I have a portfolio of properties myself, and I also invest in properties as flips, in buy-to-lets, in lease options, and in developments. I do everything. I invest in property, I make money from property. But I'm also a letting agent, and I own a letting agent called Pink Street. I also am an estate agent, and my estate agent is called Pink Street. I used to be a mortgage advisor, I'm not anymore, but I know a little bit about that industry too. But most importantly, I am a fanatic when it comes to property and business. They're my two favourite things outside of my family. So I want to share all that with you. And do you know what? What am I doing all this for? I've told you that I'm giving free training, free advice, free content, free information, interviewing all these people for free. This takes hours and hours and hours to do, to put all of this together. But why am I doing it? Well, I've told you that my business is letting agency, estate agency, mortgage advising, and property investments. That's my whole thing. So that's where my business interest lies. So I'm giving all of this out to, of course, increase awareness for my business. Obviously, that's why we do all of this stuff. But if along the way you do want to work with me, then brilliant. I'll be really happy to work with you within my businesses. If you don't want to work with me, that's okay too. At least I know that I'm giving out the information to help you get this right, to help you grow this yourself. If you're the sort of person that wants to do it all yourself but just learn from others, brilliant. Hey, let's chat. Let's talk about it along the way. Let's learn from each other. I really would love that. But that's the point of all of this. Is of course I want to grow my own brand. I want to build awareness in Pink Street the estate agent, Pink Street the letting agent, Pink Street the mortgage broker, and Pink Street the property investment company. I want to grow awareness in that, but I also really want to help. I really want to talk with like-minded individuals, like-minded people that want to improve their property portfolios, people that want to invest in property for the first time, and people that want to invest in property for the 50th time. It doesn't matter. I just would love to interact, and this podcast is the way I can do that. Because I can release a podcast here and we can talk about perhaps property tax, and I want you to talk to me about it as well. It's not just me giving you a load of advice and tips and information and updates and opinions and feedback. It's about you bringing it back to me as well. So if I give a podcast and you've got something to say about it, interact with me. Let's have a chat about it. I might even get you on the podcast to talk about it. Because that's the point of this. If you're an investor up in Manchester and I'm an investor down in Portsmouth, then the chances are it's going to be very difficult for us to talk and interact. Whereas I want to know what you know and you want to know what I know. Let's talk, let's interact through this podcast, through my social media, through my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, all of those places, through my tomsone.com blog, all of those places where we can interact and talk amongst like-minded individuals. Let's build a community. Let's all unite and get together so that we can chat about this stuff and make sure that we're all in the same boat and we're all doing the right thing in the right way at the right time. We can all help each other with growth areas. Imagine that. Imagine if you're part of a community where someone says, hey, I've got a growth area just in Liverpool here. Great little growth area. Everyone should invest up here. And we all start making money together. There's enough properties in the country for us all to make money. So who should listen to this podcast? If you're a beginner and you want to get into property, or you have just got into property and you're a bit nervous or a bit unsure about how you can do that whole snowball thing and throw that first snowball and roll and roll and roll and roll and grow. If that's you, this is an awesome podcast for you. Because I've been where you are. And the people that I'm going to be talking to have been where you are. You first start out in property and you think, I need loads of money to invest in property. I need all these contacts. I need this power team. I need this lawyer, this accountant, this mortgage advisor, this lender, this surveyor. I need all of these people. Well, I'm here to tell you that you don't. Because I've got them. So that means you can just learn from me. You can just copy me. Or if you don't want to copy me, you can copy the people that I'm interviewing in this podcast. And there are some awesome people. You've got people that have been there, done it, seen it, got the t-shirt, maybe not this t-shirt. If you're beginning in property investment and you want to get into it, trust me, you don't need loads of money. You just need to know the right people. And I'm one of those people that you need to know. I can introduce you to the people that you need to know. I can show you how you can invest in property just by listening to this podcast. Now, yeah, I'm selling the podcast, right? Because obviously I want to get more and more and more and more followers and subscribers to this podcast. Of course I do. There's no point in doing it if I don't want to grow it. Because I want to be the anonymous podcaster, not just the anonymous landlord. I want this to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. But by this growing, and if you're subscribed with me, and you're following me on this journey from starting out in property investment, becoming a landlord, growing in property investment, becoming an anonymous landlord, then you can do the same thing. Because that's the dream, right? That's where we all want to get to. We all want to be the perfect property investor, the ultimate landlord, the anonymous landlord, where you make profit from property without doing a thing. You can spend more time with your family, more time with your friends, more time relaxing on a beach in Hawaii, drinking a cocktail, listening to the sea come in and out. That's what you want, right? All right, that might be a bit extreme, but you get what I'm saying. I'm promising you right here that you can enjoy making a ton of profit from property. Because what's the point in making loads of money out of property if you can't bloody enjoy it? That's what I'm going to try and get everybody to. That's the pinnacle for me. That's where I want every single property investor, every single landlord to reach that point where they're making loads of money from property. It's growing every single year and it's optimizing every single year. The profit is optimizing every single year and you are not doing a thing for it. Everything is a system of automation. It's a beautiful machine that does it all for you. And that's why I'm doing this podcast. My head is full of all of this information about lettings, about being a landlord, about different types of property investment. I know loads of absolute experts in the property industry from all parts of the property industry. So I want to share that with you. I want you to be involved in it. I want you to make a ton of money from it. I want you to enjoy it. I want you to immerse yourself in it. I want you to be the anonymous landlord, the anonymous property investor, the anonymous business person. I want you to be part of my anonymous podcast. So if you like what you hear, if that rang true for you or any part of you, then you better hit that subscribe button so that I can tell you whenever I do a new episode. And I promise you there's going to be a lot of content, a lot of info, a lot of really useful advice that normally you would have to pay for. But I promise you, and I've said this now, this is the third time I've said it, I promise you that all of my training, all of my advice, all of my information, all of my updates, all of my podcasts, all of my videos, all of my blogs, every single thing will be free. You do not need to pay loads of money for this advice. I've done it, I'm doing it, and I'm going to continue doing it, and I'm going to continue sharing it with you. So, I cannot wait to show you the first episode of our podcast, The Anonymous Landlord. And all you need to do is hit subscribe right now. And I will see you on the next episode. Take care, everybody. My name's Tom Soane, and this is The Anonymous Landlord.